held me in your arms and wiped away my tears. Not even in a million years can I ever repay you for what you've done for me. You were there when I felt that there was no place for me. You were there to show me how to truly believe in the miracle of creation, in the good and the bad. Oh, how I love you, Mom and Dad.
Bismillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I'm Nazir bin Nasif. I'm OutstandingMuslimParents.com. And welcome to Outstanding Parents here on Huda TV. And you should already know that this is the zone where we encourage parents to be outstanding, because being anything else really wouldn't make sense, especially when you recognize that average is nothing but the top of the bottom or the bottom of the top. Okay, so with that being said, we're going to talk about today something that's extremely important. But before we do, I'm going to encourage you, like I always do, to go and make sure you have something to write with and something to write on. Okay, now we're going to talk about family plans. We need to know how we're measuring up. What's going on with the different strategies you put in play? How can I check in on it? How can I say, okay, I'm not going to take just tips from this episode and then go and put them in place for a week and be excited and get some results and then just kind of wane down over time. We want to make sure that we're standing strong, make sure that we're still moving forward, make sure that we're actually making progress, not just change. Many people want change, but people are also scared of change. Now, the crazy thing is we're always changing. We don't stay the same. You're climbing or you're falling. I mean, it's not, there's no neutral. There's no staying the same. For example, we look at our babies, right? You know how many different bodies we've already been through? We no longer have this little bitty bone. It's already, all the cells have lived and died and continue, billions of them on a daily basis. So we're living and dying every single day. We're growing and we're changing every single day without us doing anything. Now, if you're not going to do much, if you're going to stand still, for example, or be still, then your body's not going to be getting stronger day by day. It's going to be getting weaker. But with a plan and implementing and executing that plan, you can help it get stronger, even no matter the age. It's interesting because there was a young lady who was sick, or an older lady actually was sick in her 60s, and she talked to her doctor and she just refused to just go about the I'll be frail type thing. And she ended up becoming a bodybuilder, like 67, 68, and competing with women that were younger than her grandchildren. She had great grandchildren the age of people she was competing with. It's amazing, but you couldn't tell that she was as old as she was. You can kind of tell by the neck, but it was a bodybuilding lady. Anyway, the point is there's a plan and you have to follow through and go through on the plan. So with that being said, I want to talk about some things. One, I need to be more interactive with you this episode, really more than any other, because you have to be writing some stuff down and asking yourself questions and putting down the answers. Like, number one, what is the ultimate objective you want to achieve for your family? What's the ultimate desired outcome that you want for your family? Can you sum that up in about 2 sentences? Can you sum it up in 2 sentences for your family? This is your mission. This is what you want. That's the ultimate objective. That's really the first thing. Because when you see that, it should be something that inspires you, that wells up inside you. It has to be something that drives you. If that does not drive you, then it's not your ultimate goal. Because once it's your ultimate goal, then every time you see it, every time you read it, or even without it, you're already thinking it. That's the direction you want to go. So that kind of charts the course, because when we're standing here, we need to know, are we going there? Are we going that way? Are we going this? What way are we going? So as I put that ultimate objective, now I see the direction that we're going to go. And in the meantime, now we need to chart the course. So alhamdulillah, number one, where do we want to go? Number two, you already know who your family members are. You're going to list them. You want to get their agreement. Now, they may not have the ultimate goal. The child is not necessarily going to understand fully what we want the family, but they can agree to it. They can like it. They say, you know what, I like that. I support that. I'm supportive of you. Significant other, your spouse can do the same, or add to it, and you make, you mix yours together, your 2 sentences. Maybe it becomes 4. It doesn't matter. But what's the ultimate objective and outcome that you want for your family? That's where we want to start. The next thing is, okay, we need some benchmarks. So where are my benchmarks going to be? When am I going to check in on something? It's pretty easy to keep at the digit 10. So in 10 days, I'll check in on this, another 10 days, or I'll check once a month. But you know what? When you check more often, then you can make corrections. For example, I was reading and I was talking about when a plane flies to Hawaii. It's usually off course, but it does so many course corrections because if you are missed just by like a half a degree, if you're like a degree off or half a degree off, you'll miss the islands totally. Okay, but they make so many corrections during the course that, it finds its way pretty much to the Hawaiian Islands when you're flying from the States. So here's the point. We need to check in on it more. Something else that happens in the West, they have something called New Year's resolutions. That means once a year they make a goal. Why they call it a resolution, I have no idea. But it's a New Year's resolution. They have this thing that they do, and some they consider a holiday, which is really interesting. When you start the first day of your year off work or partying or something like that, yeah, what a way to start a year, right? Inebriated or something like that. Nevertheless, they do it and they check on it once a year. How do you think that works out? They go and set these lofty goals and this good stuff, these aspirations, or basically it's a bunch of wishes. And then they check on that, and the two main goals they have is they want to make more money, want to lose weight. Make more money and lose weight. Oh, these are the top two goals. Well, it's interesting because as I was studying about marketing, it came across that people's gym memberships, they're heavy into the gym about 3 weeks in January, but after the third week, it pretty much falls off to the pre-New Year's crowd. So that's why you see in the winter months in the West, in November, December, when people are eating a lot around their Thanksgiving holiday, when they have the Christmas stuff going on, you're hearing about get your gym membership, join for free, 1 or 2 year membership, get a discount, blah, 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 blah. Because they know when the new year comes, a lot of people are going to be in there. They're going to get money, get people locked into contracts and so on and so forth. And most of them are not going to last past 3 weeks. Good for a business model, but it talks about ourselves. It talks about human beings and procrastination and really not following through or having a lack of commitment. Well, we don't want to be that way. Imagine you made a goal, but you checked in on that goal every single month. Just for example, once a month. So now you have a person that makes a goal, but they check in on where they are 12 times a year. Do you think that's better than 1 time a year? Of course, you'll probably say, of course it is. No doubt. Well, what if you checked on your goal every 10 days? If you checked on your actions toward achieving your goal, you're actually measuring, am I getting closer? For example, we could talk about just health. Since I brought up the health club, let's talk about working out. Well, every 10 days, you can weigh yourself. Every 10 days, you could look and measure yourself. Take your measurements because it's not just weight. You can actually build muscle and lose fat and weigh the same amount, but you're looking better. So every 10 days. Now, if you look every 10 days, that's 36 times per year. Every 10 days, 36 times per year. Is 36 times per year better than 12? So a person that's looking 36 times can make more corrections. Well, if you're checking once a week, that's 52 times a year. So the point is you want to check in on what you're doing. Basically, I call that inspecting what you expect. So inspect what you expect. And you do that by looking at it. If I said I'm going to be more loving in my relationships at home, I'm going to be more loving, I'm going to tell my family I love them more, I'm going to hug them more. Well, are you doing that after 7 days? Are you keeping track with maybe just a little journal entry or just an entry in your smartphone that you email to yourself or something you keep in a Google Doc? If your child or your spouse says, hey, this is what I'm going to do, this is part of our goal, this is what I want to do for my health or finances or physical or for my emotional health, okay, great. Are we checking in on it? And if we're checking in on it, then we can correct it. See, another philosophy is to plan, do, and review. Plan, do, and review. That's all we're encouraging you. Plan it, do it, and review it. Now, most people, sad to say this, but most people are professional starters. Professional starters. They get excited, they make plans, they get going, they start, but they're amateur finishers. So they're professional starters. You couldn't tell them difference between the pros out there. But then the finishers, are few and far between. So professional starters, amateur finishers. We don't want to be the professional starter, amateur finisher. We want to start it and finish it. We want to separate ourselves from the pack because being average is the top of the bottom, bottom of the top. So we want to be outstanding. We want to follow all the way through. Imagine if you ever started a diet plan, right? You ever started to do something with a workout plan, anything to change your body, and you stuck with it for 12 months. You stuck with it for 12 months, more than 1 month. Don't ask me how I know. I've been through a number of different ones. If Ramadan comes in the middle of one of my plans, and I blame it on Ramadan. Well, I can't work out during this month because so on and so forth. Any excuse will do. So I've started and stopped way too many workout plans to blame anyone else for how I'm looking physically with my body and what I like or what I dislike. So we have to take ownership and responsibility ourselves. The great thing is we are already equipped with it. So when you look at your life, you look at your family goals, then everybody has their individual goals as part of the family. One of the ways to check in on it relatively frequently, instead of just looking at something once a week that's in a journal or online, well, why don't you put it somewhere where I see it every day? Do you think a person that checked on it every single day, 365 days or 360 some days a year, will have more success because of the opportunities to correct and stay on task than somebody who checks once a week, 52 times a year? I would venture to say yes, especially when they tie it to that ultimate objective, especially when they tie it to something that gets them emotionally charged. So if you know you have to take care of your health because of other family and genetic things that are going on, if you know you have to take care of your health to make sure you're there for your family, you have the right energy, and you're checking in on that 365 days, then, hey, you know what? You might not cheat on your diet program. You may make sure you get to the gym when you have it. That doesn't mean you're at it every single day, or if something happens or you fall off for a second, you can't get back on. You know, this just means you're checking on it, you're serious about it, and should something happen, you course correct and keep going. We don't want to, oh, I made a mistake when I didn't follow through, now I quit. No, that's an amateur finisher. I believe there's an old Chinese proverb that says, you know, fall down 7 times, get up 8. I like that. So inshallah ta'ala, as we come back from the break, we're going to talk a little bit more about how to tie your values into your plan. So stay tuned as we go a little bit deeper into your family plan. And inshallah ta'ala, I will see you in a few minutes, or you'll see me. Assalamu alaikum.
Oh, how I love you, Mom and Dad. So let me stray. Please guide my way.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk on your favorite channel, Huda TV. I'm your host, Arkham Rashid. They actually did such and such that you're accusing him of in your mind. So now I want to start off with my right-hand side, Brother Ahmed. If you can just tell us what your thoughts were on that video. What can you extract from that video? Would you say some of the youth turn to drugs, especially, you know, in your country, if they don't have jobs, or, you know, it's because they want to get away from their daily normal lives? Would you say that's a reason?
Absolutely, that's true. Some people just resort to drug as the last option because they get themselves straight out and they're instead of depression, but they don't know where to turn for help.
Sports per se is like a communal social activity, whereas it collects the community together and it bonds brotherhoods together, you know. It's very social in its aspect where you interact with, you know, your teammates or your players in a team.
So I think a message would be just to stay completely away from it. Even we can say, oh look, it's haram.
Subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah, I'm calling your name. Oh, how I love you, Mom and Dad.
Bismillah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, and welcome back. All right, well, alhamdulillah. Now, let's say we have some goals or some outcomes established. Keeping in mind, they should be FAM goals, okay? Fun, fulfilling, actionable, and measurable. F stands for fun and or fulfilling. actionable, and measurable. The last part we just got discussing with checking in on your goals is really the measuring it. Because I think you already got the F and the A already down. Okay? So FAM, FAM goals. Fun, fulfilling, actionable, and measurable. Now here's the thing. Sometimes we put goals down or put down different outcomes and stuff that we want. But we fail to put down the why. We fail to put down why we want that. What is the purpose of it? So just going on health, because that universally applies to everybody, we need to put down why. What is the reason? So if my goal is to shed 35 pounds of fat, why? Okay, these go into our motivators. Remember, we have those triggers. We have those pain and pleasure triggers. So since we have these triggers, we can use them to our advantage. We can use them to motivate us because this is our motivation. We're getting it out on paper. I could just say, I want to lose, 30 pounds of fat. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to the gym. It's going to sound all great. And it's a 24-hour gym, so I can even work out during Ramadan. And I can do all of that stuff. And I'll be eating right and hydrating during the night, take some protein with suhoor, and so on and so forth. And it sounds like a great plan. Indeed, it can be a great plan. And it can work, depending on the discipline of the individual. However, most people, most being 80%, likely cannot operate solely on that. So what we do, we go deeper. We want to get to the purpose. What is the reason? What's the reason behind me wanting to shed 30, 35 pounds of fat? Well, what I do, I'll say, here's my journal. I'm going to write down some reasons I want to achieve this goal. Well, number one, I'll be healthier because fat around the midsection leads to different diseases, heart disease, and so on and so forth. Okay, well, it'll make me more attractive, and that is also important, of course, in the marriage, and so on and so forth. And I don't want to let myself go over the years like a lot of people do that just don't care, or they feel that you can go ahead and just cover everything up, and nobody will see it except their spouse, which is like the main person and the only person that should be seeing it. So I want to be attractive. That'll make me feel better, or I'll feel better. All right, I have more health. I'll be more dynamic or more energetic or more vitality. I want that. I can use less sleep, if you will. So these different things. Well, why do I want to feel better? Why do I want to be more attractive and all that type of stuff? Well, ultimately it's going to come to some emotional state that I want. That emotional state, feeling better. That emotional state, feeling attractive. That emotional state is what we're seeking. And my goal can help accomplish that. Now, once I put that and attach that with my goal, that changes things. Now I see what my goal is. Now I can say, all right, great. Ramadan's coming. I can work in the Ramadan's 24-hour gym. I can have the protein with suhoor. I can have this great plan because here are my reasons. And my reasons don't have to be public. They can be, but they don't have to be. So now my reasons give me some emotional anchoring. And with that emotional anchoring, it drives me to fulfill and follow through on what I said I wanted to do. The great part is we can do this with our children. We can ask them, why do you want to do that? We don't ask them like, why do you want to do that? We ask them in a supportive way. Okay, great. What's the reason you want to do this? I mean, what are you going to benefit from? What are you going to get from this? You can have a child want to learn about art and do some drawings. Want to learn how to read Arabic, or how to do a number of different things. Ask them why. And then asking them why, you want to write that down, because it helps encourage them. That's their motivation. See, that is more likely just in and of itself to help you achieve your goal. Then the last part I want to talk about here is measuring. Again, fun and fulfilling, actionable, and measurable. So, when we're talking about reviewing this stuff, what are some steps we can take to make sure not only that we achieve it, but what are the steps that we take that can check in on it? How do we know we're going in the right direction? What are some benchmarks, I'll say, that tell us we're going in the right direction? Okay. This is a benchmark I have. If I'm talking about losing 30 pounds of fat, great, then I want to lose 5 pounds the first month. 5 pounds of fat the first month. So if I'm going to lose 5 pounds of fat the first month, I need to know what my body fat percentage is. I need to know what my weight is. All right? Then, because I could weigh the same amount and have lost 5 pounds of fat and put on 5 pounds of muscle. So we want to measure properly. Right? So I want to lose 5 pounds of fat. And you'll do that with checking your measurements out and so on and so forth, right? So, okay, great. So in 10 days, I'm going to check and see how I'm doing. On 7 days, I'm going to check and see how I'm doing. If I've lost any type of weight, have I shed any type of inches? Because now, as I'm going over it, I already know the reason why I'm doing it. I already see the steps that I need to do in order to achieve that goal. Now I need to check in on it. Now I need to make sure I'm on task. Because I don't want to be the one. It's so easy to do. I've done it too many times. It's so easy to say, you know what? Just feeling tired today, I'll just double up on it tomorrow. Okay, I know I said I work out 3 days a week. I'll just do it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Or we push it off and procrastinate. And then we get discouraged, put on the back burner, try to justify it by other stuff being busy and other people understanding. Well, other people are going to understand. Most people will understand. Most of them are average when it comes to the quality of lives and living and fulfilling their potential. We don't want to be dealing with people that understand. We want to be outstanding and hold ourselves to a higher standard. So if I'm trying to lose 30, 35 pounds of fat and I'm talking to somebody that can stand to lose 50 pounds of fat, they probably understand. But I'm talking around people that get the workout in no matter what, even if they have to wake up a little earlier to get it done. The people that can stretch you, those who are like personal trainers and coaches or actual personal trainers and coaches. I had a personal trainer and I called him 2 different names. One, he was the beast. I called him the beast because he would work you like a beast. Literally. Serious about it. Push me beyond. And I also called him Ashton Kutcher because working out with him felt like you got punked. And he has a show called Punked. If you know what that is, cool. If you don't worry about it. But I called him this guy who did practical jokes because I was working out so hard with him and he was so serious about it that it just felt like somebody was just doing me wrong, but it was for my own good. Again, keep in mind, as a parent, we have those 3 roles. We have that celebrity and that role model. Because as you're pursuing your goal and you're looking over your child's goal, guess who's also looking at you moving in the direction of your goals or your outcomes? Yeah, that child is trying to check on you to make sure you're doing the same thing and achieving it, not making excuses. Because as soon as we make excuses, that gives them permission to make excuses. That's their celebrity. Number 2, the confidant. Showing them how to achieve it. See, instead of just writing a goal down like other people say, write goals down and have goal setting workshops and exercises, we're asking them to put the reasons behind it and then showing them how to check in on it too. That's that confidant. We go above and beyond. Then the third, of course, is that coach. Just like that personal trainer was my coach when it came to physical fitness. He was a semi-pro football player and I was doing a lot of different exercises that I had never done before. And it was great. I mean, I paid him. He got paid. And alhamdulillah, we got some results. But ultimately it came up to me because he was getting paid anyway. So if I didn't show up for a session, I was losing money. And if I was losing money, guess what that means? That means pain. I was going to show up. It's one thing to, again, go work out by yourself. You can give yourself an excuse. But you have a workout partner you need to pick up or they expect you to be there at the gym. That's more accountability. See, one of the great things about us doing this together is that you're working this with your family. But if you have other people that are watching this show that are already taking advantage of the Outstanding Muslim Parents Program, for example, well, you can link up with them. You can share ideas and examples. You can find out what's working for them, what's not working, or what can work better, and you can work together and keep each other motivated. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice to get around other people that want to be outstanding, that are talking about raising their children at a higher level, but also following through and doing it? So this is not some hypothetical, some great wish. Oh, I don't know what to do. Oh, Ya Allah, I'm lost. No. We say, Ya Allah, thank you. Ya Allah, alhamdulillah. We're excited about now changing the direction of our lives or going and steering our lives the way we want to. That feeling of more control, knowing that we have more control than just sitting back and letting things happen. Some things we have no control over other people, no control over other events. But we can plan, do, and review. We can live at the highest level. We can control ourselves emotionally, live in good states, move in the direction that we want to toward our ultimate objective that's guiding our family outcomes and our goals. All right, because our family outcomes and goals aren't just a list of wishes. This is attached to our values. This is attached to reasons that are behind it. And those reasons come right back to serving the benefit of the family. Walhamdulillah. Again, I only talked about the physical area. But you have physical, you have emotional, you have your Islamic area, So you have many different areas of your life where these goals can be used in that framework. And since they can be used in that framework with fam, it might not seem like a fun goal if you're struggling to get a certain degree and you want to study this amount of hours and so on and so forth, but it's fulfilling. The question that you will ask yourself to find out if this goal is actually worth it is just that. You would ask yourself, is it worth it? If I achieve this, if I strived and got and achieved my goal, is it worth it? If you can say yes, then absolutely get on it. If it's, well, maybe, maybe not, then it's really up to you. But if you feel it's important enough and it's worth it, then move forward on it. Because you moving forward on it encourages and inspires your family. I have a friend of mine. He works out a lot. And all of a sudden he wanted to run a marathon. And I had no interest in running a marathon whatsoever. But he encouraged me just with his seriousness in getting it done. And he did it at over 40 years old, even though that's not old. But I thought it would be an interesting time to decide to make that decision. So whatever decision you want to make the decision, then take action. Because you understand that a wish changes nothing, but a decision changes everything. And as always, we encourage you to go to our website and get the corresponding worksheet to empower yourself and your family. Get the other resources that we put there for you. Go to outstandingmuslimparents.com/outcomes. So outstandingmuslimparents.com/outcomes. And we look forward to engaging with you and continuing to equip and empower families to become outstanding. I'm Nazir, son of Nasib of the family Al-Mujaahid, and I'm signing off. Jazakumullahu khair. We appreciate you and look forward to seeing you again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
While my world was crumbling down, and you tried your best to shelter me from the coming of the storm, you opened my eyes to see that all hope was not gone. You held me in your arms and wiped away my tears. Not even in a million years can I ever repay you for what you've done for me. You were there when I felt that there was no place for me. You were there to show me how to truly believe in the miracle of creation, in the good